We're the morning after. I'm Big J.
And I'm Nick, and thanks for listening to The X. You are the ones that rock.
Important stuff.
What's going on in the news today?
The morning after with Nick and Big J.
Big J, you know in your office you have that gigantic bag of diapers that say don't touch on them?
Yeah, don't touch those.
Might be time to donate them because the Idaho Diaper Bank is aiming to raise about $10,000 to help provide some Gem State families with clean diapers. According to the Idaho Diaper Bank, 47% of Idaho's households struggle to afford diapers for their babies, so Governor Brad Little, Mayor Lauren McLean, and Meridian Mayor Robert Simonson have signed proclamations emphasizing the importance of diaper resources earlier this month and are hoping to help the Idaho Diaper Bank kind of restore their bank portion of things because they've seen a pretty great demand these last couple of weeks and they have a little bit of a shortage and they want to help out some great families across the Treasure Valley that can't afford diapers. And by the way, if you have a baby or ever had a baby, you understand how expensive diapers can be. They're no joke, man. It's crazy expensive and it adds up pretty quickly, and so really happy that places like the Idaho Diaper Bank kind of exist and they're able to help out families and people here in the Treasure Valley. So recommend giving to them if you can, especially considering that nonprofit happens to be in a little bit of crisis mode right now. So help out some Idaho households that are struggling to get diapers for their kids. All right, please? Could you please, Big J, take the don't touch sign off your diapers?
Yes, you can have them.
I thank you and the Idaho Diaper Bank.
Promise they're not used.
Good. Although I wonder sometimes. Vince Carter won't be done with celebrations of his NBA career after he's inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame on October the 13th. The two teams he spent the first half of his career with, which, Big J, are what?
The Timberwolves?
Nope, never played on the Timberwolves.
All right, I have no idea. Vince Carter.
You don't remember who he was drafted to?
No.
The face of basketball in this city?
No.
Toronto Raptors.
The Toronto Raptors. Okay.
You were going to say the New Jersey Nets, which is the second team he was on. Both have announced they'll retire his number this season. Raptor ceremony slated for November 2nd, and Carter is the first Raptor to ever get his jersey retired. That's fitting. And the Nets ceremony is set for January 25th, so he'll have a couple of opportunities to have his number hang from the rafters in a couple of places. I think that's the only place Vince Carter will probably have his number retired. I mean, he had a long and storied career, but I don't think, Dallas is going to do it. I don't think, Houston's going to do it. I don't think any of the other places that he maybe had a cup of coffee at are going to retire his number. So, but one of the better basketball and the long career, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he was doing it forever. So, got to give it up to Vince Carter. Congratulations on getting your number retired. I know you never watched Hamilton, so this isn't going to mean much to you, but those of you that did are going to know about Daveed Diggs, who was one of the big stars of that musical and stole the show in some capacity. He is going to join the boys as a series regular for the final season of the show. They're not telling you who his character is going to be. It's kept a secret so far. But the series is based on a best-selling comic and, of course, portrays corrupt superheroes controlled by a corporation, and we will see where he falls, but the last season's getting ready to film, and so they need to update the cast and put together some pretty interesting things. And Daveed Diggs, who's very good at what he does, is going to be a part of it. So I'm looking forward to the final season of The Boys. I really enjoyed the last season. Again, that's a show so far that, in my personal opinion, just doesn't miss. It's been 4 fantastic seasons of television, and I'm really excited how this thing is going to wrap up because I feel like they're going to do it right. So there's few shows out there I have that much faith in. The Boys is definitely one of them.
Well, they can get that many seasons right.
That's what I mean. Like, so I can put together 4 solid seasons and then know you're going into the final season, which always, to me, is a benefit as a storyteller. Somebody's like, at least I know I have to figure this all out within this amount of time zones and episodes. And so I like it, and I'm excited for it. I think they're going to stick the landing for sure. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There is your first round of important stuff. It is the X Rocks. That's Lincoln Park. That is the Emptiness Machine. Brand new music for them here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Big J, question for you.
Yeah, I got an answer.
You're celebrating your wife's birthday today. What was the date of your first date? Not anniversary. When did you guys first get together and meet each other for the first time?
I think it was like April 28th or 26th of 2009.
So it was in the spring months.
Yes.
So that is where your relationship blossomed and bloomed and turned into this beautiful love that it has become. And that
And maybe
is...
it's May.
Huh?
May.
Okay. Are we going to be in like July before we know it?
No.
Okay.
Because it was just like a week before we left for Rock on the Range.
Is when you first met. Yeah, that would be right around those times. Absolutely. But we are in the fall season now. That became official as of Sunday. So we are officially in fall. We're also in what's called cuffing season, Big J. Are you familiar with the term?
Yeah. I wasn't until I saw the first season of Bridgerton.
Oh, that's a Bridgerton term?
Well, cuffing season is the same as I think, now I'm trying to remember what they call it, but it's basically hooking up time.
Yeah, that's exactly it. There is a time between fall and winter when people look for somebody more than usual to spend the holidays with, as cold days, the nights of winter, Big J. Somebody to actually warm your heart and your home, you hope, and you find a relationship with, and it is usually in those fall to winter months where these relationships start to blossom. And there may be something to it. According to researchers who looked at the numbers from dating apps, they found that there's actually a jump in users in the fall and winter months. So we may be kind of pre-programmed to try to seek out somebody right around this time of year if you're not already in a relationship. And if you are in a relationship, you're doing that. What's wrong with you, man? Knock that off.
Yeah.
But also, like, it's...
That's a different name. Like
Right.
cuffing season.
No, it's not. But we certainly have a situation where maybe, just maybe, some relationships could blossom, although you do spit in the face of those numbers by meeting the love of your life in the spring months. But again, there are all sorts of different places and times that people can meet and run into each other and relationships start. It doesn't have to start in the fall and winter months. It just so happens that people start looking a little bit more. So maybe if you're single and you're teetering on the edge of giving up, know that we're heading into a time where we're all much, much, much more desperate. And so you never know what could happen.
Here's, I think everybody's intuition is to say, those numbers are garbage. But what's not garbage is people and their tendencies. And it just plays out like that's the way it is. And it's bizarre.
Yeah.
That happens to be when people feel like it's the right time to hook up. And it's not made up number. I mean, this is like legitimate, I guess, psychology.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense when you break it down to its essential core. It is people get lonely around the holidays and feel better when they have somebody to spend that time with. That's just, that's something that you can understand, and you can figure out why people would be at this point in their lives, if they are single and looking for a relationship, try to up the ante a little bit as you start to get into those holiday months. You're like, wouldn't it be nice to have somebody to spend the holidays with? Or, no, I don't want to spend another Christmas alone, or whatever the case may be. That feels like it does truly, at the core of all things, make some sense. And maybe why you would be more open to a relationship or trying to find somebody at this particular time. So enjoy cuffing season. Big J.
Maybe spend less time perfecting your chili recipe and look for a lady.
A lady?
A lady?
Morning After with Nick and Big J. There is your cuffing season update. We have got a movie review. Speaking of cuffing, Big J.
Yeah.
We got a movie review
Right.
from Big J of Challengers. That's next on the X-Rocks. That is Korn. That is Coming Undone here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Yesterday, gosh, right around this time, you guys selected a movie for Big J to watch and review for you, which he did last night. That movie was called Challengers, starring Zendaya and a couple people. I don't know who they are, but you watched it, Big J. How was it?
I did. Those two guys are Mike Feist. He plays Art Donaldson, and Josh O'Connor. He plays Patrick, and then of course you have Zendaya. And as you described it in when we did the description yesterday, it was a love triangle, and this is a strong love triangle. Okay, so. This is all about tennis, by the way. Zendaya is an incredible tennis player in her day. And this movie, this movie, there's a lot of bouncing around in a timeline because it takes part over a good 15, 20 years.
Okay.
And basically, both Mike and Josh Art and Patrick are friends. They went to boarding school together. They're huge into tennis. One of them is about to go pro. That's Patrick. And the other is going to go play at Stanford. And they encounter at a mixer. Zendaya's character Tashi, who is also a phenomenal tennis player, like maybe going to be one of the best ever, right? And she's also going to be going to Stanford, but they also both have a huge crush on her, and they start to kind of compete for her. here's another thing: is they're kind of a couple, Art and Patrick.
Okay.
Like they're romantically involved with one another, and at the same time, they're both kind of like open to, all kinds of things. It's college, I guess, age, whatever you want to say. Anyways,
experimentation.
Yeah, experimentation, and there is some scenes of that. So if you're not into this, if the strong sexual things aren't for you, movie is not for you, because there's some intensity in this movie in that regard, but also intensity with the tennis and just the storyline and a lot of back and forth. Because what happens is down the road is you'll see Art and Tashi end up together. She has a devastating injury that she can't play tennis anymore, so she becomes a tennis coach. She was kind of already coaching when she was, playing tennis herself, and they become kind of a power couple, Nick. And he is one of the best tennis players in the world, but he's starting to struggle a little bit, kind of losing his sauce. And what happens is that sometimes, before you get ready for a big tournament, you can go and play the smaller tournaments and kind of beat the hell out of other players, right? And that's what happens here. That's what's called the challenger. That's a challenger match.
Okay.
Because you can challenge other people and that sort of thing. Now, on the other hand, Patrick has gone on and had a pro career, but not very good. And he's kind of down on his luck. He's almost homeless for the most part. And he gets into this tournament just because he needs the money. He does not realize that his old friend, Art, is going to be in this tournament because it's a surprise. And so they end up facing off in the final match. And basically what happens is it starts out and then it goes back and forth between them in this match and the history that they have with each other and with Tashi. So you've got that going back and forth.
Okay.
Just like tennis.
Yeah, I get it.
So that's how it's set up. And, there's some intense stuff. I really dug the soundtrack and, some of the exposition in it. And Zendaya's character is not really a great person. She's not like somebody who's super likable. She does a great job of being that. There's even a great Spider-Man joke in here.
All right.
So you can look forward to that. So I actually enjoyed some of that, the intensity and just a lot of the, I guess, I think the way it falls in tennis form and the storyline and going back and forth, I thought was pretty cool.
All right. That sounds like it's Big J approved to
it's
me.
approved, man.
All right. So
it's intense, it's hip, it's cool, it's saucy. It's all of those things.
What does saucy mean?
Saucy means there's some sauce in there.
Yeah, but that
There's
doesn't
some love
explain it to me.
sauce.
Okay. All right.
There's some partial male nudity in there.
All right.
And
say no more. Big J approved.
and
Challengers. If you want to watch it, it's on Amazon Prime, right?
No Zendaya nudity, really, though. So.
Hey, why do you call her Zendaya? Like there's an H in her name
That's how
somewhere.
I pronounce her name.
No, it's not. It's not how anybody else pronounces her name.
That's all right.
Zendaya is her name.
Zendaya.
Yeah, because there's a Y there, not an H. But there's an H as in holy heck. Big J enjoyed Challengers. It's a movie that's available for you to watch now on Amazon Prime if you would like to couple up with Big J and see if you enjoyed it as much as he did. You did say that your daughter walked in and wanted to watch the movie with you and you were not comfortable watching it with your daughter.
Right. Well, I had already started it and then stopped because she got home and then she had been interested in watching. I'm like, I don't know if I really want to watch this movie with you, and I'm almost done with it. I want to start all over. So
it's good enough to watch, maybe not rewatch, and certainly not sit down and watch it. It's not a family movie that you want to sit down and watch.
I don't think it's a family movie, no.
Understood. But it is Big J approved. Put that stamp on it and watch it if you're so inclined. Challengers is the name of the movie, and that's the streaming dumbass. Morning After with Nick and Big J. Important stuff on the way on the X.
Cheer up. Oh, man, we're going to hell.
Where the hell is the switch?
The Morning After with Nick and Big J on 100.3 The X rocks.
Doesn't matter what you do, Big J. At some point, mistakes will be made. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody is perfect. It happens. And today's story involves the Los Angeles Police Department. And it's not a good look for them, I'll put it that way. But it is a situation where you're like, I wonder what ends up happening. Because unfortunately, in both of our lives, you and I have both been intimate with an MRI machine on more than one occasion, right?
So intimate.
Yeah. Where you're barely wearing anything at all, and you're stuck in there, and they're taking a scan of your entire body, and you're trying to figure out what goes on.
Yeah.
But
every depiction I've ever seen of somebody going in MRI is 100% accurate. It's like it sucks.
yeah, no, it's
Nobody's in there like, it's so much fun.
It's not comfortable. You have to stand still. It's much louder than I had ever anticipated when doing it myself.
When you're a fat dude like me, you need like an extra big MRI machine.
Do they have them?
Yeah.
Oh, you had to go to like a special one?
Yeah.
But they also ask a
I
very important question before you go into the MRI room, which is what, Big J?
You got any metal on you?
Yes. And usually the answer is no, but they make you take out all your piercings, Big J, all your piercings.
Yeah, I know.
And then they also make
Jacob's
sure
ladder.
that you're not wearing any jewelry or anything like that to get in there because things could go sideways. And, I've never had this situation, but I also never really asked what happened. Well, the LA Police Department found out the hard way what exactly happens because they decided that they had what they felt was significant evidence to raid a place called the NoHo Diagnostic Center. They thought it was, I guess, kind of also illegally selling marijuana or growing marijuana there or whatever the case may be.
We need to bust them immediately.
So they brought in 12 guys, kicked down the doors of the NoHo Diagnostic Center, and went purging through the entire kind of place. Big J, unfortunately, didn't find a plant, didn't find anything. It felt like it was on the up and up. A straight-up diagnostic center for people that were there for medical needs. There was no marijuana legally or illegally anywhere on the premises. They feel like they got some bad information or something went wrong.
This place got swatted, pretty much.
And they raided the wrong place or they got some wrong information from somebody. So already that's bad. It becomes worse when the officers, as they were going through the facility, detained the only female employee that was there, left her in a room, didn't tell her what was going on, and then went into the MRI room. Of course, they also had fairly large guns while they were doing this particular thing. And one of them, the police officers, did not have the gun secured properly to him and went into the MRI room, and it basically got sucked out of his hand and crashed into the MRI machine that was in this particular room and stayed there because the MRI is essentially a gigantic magnet, and that's why you don't want anything that's metal in those rooms. So,
This is a fake MRI machine. I know it.
It went from bad to worse when the police officer realized his mistake, that the gun flying out of his hand was his fault, went over and hit what's called the kill switch in the MRI machine. If there is something like that happens, there's a kill switch that you hit, and it demagnetizes it, but it also completely decommissions the MRI machine. It extracts all the gas that's involved, all the tube-shaped scanners that are part of the incredibly strong magnetic field. They shut down immediately, and they can't be restarted. So essentially, he bricks this MRI machine while they're doing an illegal seizure and search, and so there's bad things attached to this. This MRI machine, which are not cheap, is now completely unusable, and thousands of liters of helium gas, which also power the machine, are unusable as well, which is very expensive. So this case is going to court. It should not surprise anybody that is the case, but that is why you don't want to have any metal in you when you go into an MRI room, because it's a big old magnet. It'll fly out of you, and nothing that you're doing can stop it from happening, and so that becomes a real problem. So now this place has got to start from scratch and figure out what to do with a busted-up MRI machine and go from there. But mistakes were made, Big J. That's the point.
Yeah.
Oh, he also left a magazine filled with bullets on the floor of the MRI room because that fell out of the gun when it got magnetized to the MRI machine.
Kind of lucky that's all that happened.
Yes.
So they got off. Yes. And I want to be telling cops what to do. Maybe send in an undercover person first. It's just, feel it out. See what's going on in there first.
Get people working in shifts. Looking for leads. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your We're Going to Hell story. Coming up in a few minutes, we got to educate you about the Aftershock Power Hours. That's next on the X Rocks.
Sir, please fasten your belt.
Oh.
Your other belt.
It's time. Here's today's Aftershock Power Hours. Qualify for a trip to the Aftershock Festival, only from 100.3 VX Rocks.
We are getting down to crunch time, man. Friday is when we're giving away this trip to the Aftershock Music Festival in Sacramento, California. Going to be out at Sturman's Wine and Cigars Friday evening from 5 to 7. That's when we're giving away the trip for two to enjoy the festival on us and a bunch of other prizes. Trust me, if you have qualified, you want to be there because we got some pretty exciting things we're going to announce out there at Sturman's considering the prizes. And then also, Big J, we have a chance for 5 people to just join us out there at Sturman's and be involved in the final giveaway as well. So there's incentive for you to be there no matter what. But the reality of the situation is if you want a guaranteed slot, you need to get yourself qualified. The best way, the only way to do that is for these Aftershock Power Hours to make sense to you. So you're listening for times during the day we're going to be showcasing Aftershock artists. You call in with the correct number of Aftershock artists we played that hour, and you're qualified. Big J, what are the power hours today?
Today's power hours, Nick, as it is Wednesday, the 25th. Just want to make sure. 8 a.m., 12 p.m., and 3 p.m. So 8 a.m., 12 p.m., and 3 p.m.
Very nicely spaced, Big J.
Yeah.
Really evening it out a lot. I like that very
Trying.
much. So, if you want to get yourself qualified, a reminder, we don't expect you to memorize the lineup. We'll give you kind of like a little warning as, hey, this is an Aftershock artist here on the X. You pay attention to how many times those artists come up in those hours. Call us when you are cued to do so and have the correct number, and you may be qualified yourself. So what are those hours one more time?
8 a.m., 12 p.m., and 3 p.m.
I mean, it's coming up in less than 4 minutes, Big J. We
4
have a power
minutes?
hour.
Oh!
We better get to it.
Yep.
So we got some important stuff. That's next as well on the X Rocks.
Important stuff. On the morning after with Nick and Big J.
Big J, you're a dog owner twice over. 80% of dog owners say they felt an immediate connection with their dog once they got it into a house, compared to 69% who say the same about their romantic partner. So there's more of an immediate connection with their animal than there is with the person that they are in a relationship with. Did you have an instant connection with your pups when they walked into the Big J house?
No.
Oh, no.
I was in nightmare mode. I'm like, oh, God, a puppy? Same. Well, when Lincoln came in, I was like, I was going through a lot because we had recently lost Corky, and I'm still to this day, I think it's like 2 years ago, and I'm still broken
Sure.
about that dog. And so it was very difficult. I wasn't down with the idea of bringing in, because you always feel like you're trying to replace him or whatever. And obviously it was more about Kyle and Mason. They wanted a dog and they got Lincoln. And so, but it didn't take long for me to fall in love with that dog. And then with Lady Bird, she was a foster dog, and there was two of them. They were top puppies. It was a nightmare. I thought I was going to die that day from a heart attack. And so it's all worked out in the end, though. And yeah, I mean, immediately you love them because they need a home. And
Sure.
why not
So
have our home?
It was love at like third or fourth sight with Lincoln, and then questionable at best with Lady Bird. As we
Yeah,
go
but I
forward.
love her to
Okay.
death. Yeah.
Of course, 53% admitted to feeding their dogs better food than they feed themselves. How does that work in the Big J house?
That's not quite there yet. But I mean, they do get fed pretty well.
Good. At the end of the day, it is the highs and lows of that relationship that you have with your animal that's very, very important. So it is nice that you have that connection. And of course, that is a meaningful relationship for hopefully both parties. And there's a lot of, unconditional love there. And that's how it's supposed to
Yeah,
be.
they run the house, though. They really do.
I thought the cats did.
No,
All
no.
right.
The cats are just they're there, and they don't mind the dogs. Like, well, Ellie, our smallest cat, and she's like a mini cat. That's just what she's grown out to be. She doesn't mind them, but she doesn't put up with nothing. Like, she'll attack them out of nowhere. They got to watch out for her and Cotton sometimes. But Cotton and Lincoln are like best friends. It's weird. It's Milo and Otis or whatever.
You better hope it's not like Milo and Otis. It did not go well for
Oh.
those animals
Oh,
filming
no.
that movie.
Okay.
Hey, running
Way to
back
ruin that.
Derrick Henry. I didn't ruin it. Hollywood did. Or wherever they filmed it was. It wasn't Hollywood. Running back Derrick Henry is 30 years old, which is ancient by running back standards, Big J. But he's still a pretty dominant player by evidenced by his game he had this last weekend against the Cowboys. But some of his long-term success might have something to do with his Tom Brady-esque incredibly strict diet. Now, to stay on top of his game, Henry's football diet includes no fried foods whatsoever, doesn't eat dairy, doesn't eat gluten, will not eat sugar, artificial or otherwise. He says he doesn't eat anything until 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. And if he does, it's maybe a banana or an avocado at best before practice, and then one meal a day, and it's not even a big meal. He has lean and mean on his calories, and that's what he says keeps him in top physical shape.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's a regimen, man. It's a commitment. There
Yeah.
has to be some sort of real kind of like, I guess, list that you follow in order to be at the top of your game as long as he's been. And
Yeah.
it's paid off for him for sure. And listen, Tom Brady the same way. He always
Yeah.
had those weird diet things going on.
That's where you see that the commitment to the game, to everything. It's like that's why they're so good, and that's why in the fourth quarter he's still so good.
You would
When a
think.
lot of running backs run out of steam.
Yeah, you would hope anyway. Big J, they are not done with the Robin Hood averse. MGM Plus is developing a drama series inspired by that particular story. The show will reimagine the classic tale of the outlaw hero who stole from the rich and gave to the poor. And they want it to be a smart, sweeping, romantic adventure. Does that interest you in any way, shape, or form?
Of course it does.
And your favorite, so far, your favorite version of that story?
I don't know.
You don't know? Oh, then we'll stop. Morning After with
I don't know
Nick
why you asked a follow-up question.
There was no, it was the first question. It wasn't a follow-up question. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your important stuff. We got your Pop Culture Smackdown. It's next on the X Rocks.
Pop Culture Smackdown. On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Yeah, and up for grabs here we have some tickets to Stained, Breaking Benjamin, Daughtry, Lakeview, all happening October 6th out at the Ford Idaho Center Amphitheater. So that will be an awesome show. We'll line you up with tickets to that if you can beat me in Pop Culture Smackdown.
Phone number, as always, 208-287-1003. That's the number you need to call if you'd like to play a game of Pop Culture Smackdown and see if you can't claim these tickets for next Sunday from Big J. Pry them from his cold hands after you defeated him in Pop Culture Smackdown. I'll never call it dead, Big J, because you always rise to fight the next day.
I appreciate that.
Of course, anytime. Let's get ourselves a contestant. Hello, the X.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. What's your name?
Jeff.
All right, Jeff, you're up first. Jeff, what fictional character has a big blue box that doubles as a telephone and can travel through time and space?
Dr. Who?
Right. It seemed like a question, but it's the right
thought
one.
you were going to say Demento. And I'm like, yeah.
I thought you were going Dr. Doom for a second, but no, you got there. You got there. Big J, what hit British television series featured the characters David Brent and Gareth Keenan?
David and Gareth TV show?
Yep.
Let's go with The Office.
That's correct. Right. David Brent was The Office. Gareth was the assistant to him, the Dwight Schrute, if you will, of the British Office.
Total guess on my part.
Jeff, back to you. Charlize Theron won her Oscar for portraying what? Was it a mother of octuplets, a serial killer, or a general in an army?
Let's go the second one.
I don't remember which one the second one was. So mother of octuplets must have been serial killer, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. That is correct. You're taking on Big J. Sorry, I made up the multiple choices as I went and couldn't remember the order I went in. Big J, what Mike Myers comedy also starred Jessica Alba?
Jessica Alba?
Yeah, the actress.
Let's see. I'm going to go with The Love Guru.
That is correct as well. Good job. Jeff, back to you. What bird usually accompanies a pirate?
What was the question again?
R.
What bird usually accompanies a pirate?
Parrot.
That is correct. Right. Big J, when J-Lo did the Super Bowl halftime show, who was she billed as a double act with?
Oh, man. I'm going to go with Jay-Z. I don't remember.
No, it was another female artist. Would that help you?
Christina Aguilera?
No.
Shakira?
Yeah, Shakira.
Right.
Got it on the third guess. Good job. Congratulations there, my man. You've got tickets to go check out Stained and Breaking Benjamin next Sunday at the Ford Idaho Center. Please hold on 1 second, Jeff. We'll hook you up with everything you need to know for that. That's your Pop Culture Smackdown. Up next, big event happening this Saturday. It's the Walk to End Alzheimer's. We'll talk all about it with Alix. That's next on the X Rocks. With Nick and Big J, Saturday's a big day here in the Treasure Valley. We've been talking about it for a while. It is the Walk to End Alzheimer's. Always an honor to welcome in Alix from the Alzheimer's Society. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for coming in and being a part of the show. It's always nice to catch up with you. Of course, we're down to the last couple of days for people to be involved in the walk, but it's a very big event, but we're looking to kind of raise the bar and up the ante from last year, right?
That we are. Every year, we're looking to do a little bit more, and honestly, our participation this year is well above last year, so we're really excited. It looks like we have some new people involved between businesses and just community members. We know the state is growing. We see it every day. And so far, it looks like we have over 700 people joining us on Saturday. We're very excited.
That's awesome. I mean, I know my team this year, I've got 20, I think, members on my team. So we're really looking forward to getting out there. And I think that we had talked about this, that there's a chance Tim and I are going to get to actually go on the walk.
Oh, yeah.
this year, and we haven't been able to do that. And so I know my sister was really pumped up and excited for that. So that's been a lot of fun for me to tell those team members that, hey, I'll be out there with them as well for this on at Kleiner Park on Saturday.
It is. It's a great time. And Big J, as you know, it's more than just the walk, right? But it is just so awesome to walk with your loved ones. Remember why you're walking. Maybe it's someone you're caring for currently or someone that's passed. It's just a great way to celebrate.
It is. And, I'm so lucky because Tim, who works over on our sister station, The River, as you will know, both of his and my life been affected by Alzheimer's. And it gets emotional for us when we're up there. We try not to, but especially when we do the garden, the flower garden, man, it just gets tough. And it also reminds us, like, that's why we're here, is so that one day we have that white flower of a survivor. And that's the whole point of doing the walk.
It really is. And it's pretty incredible. I started doing the walk 7 years ago. This will be my 7th walk. It is amazing to see where we have grown in those 7 years. Now we talk about treatment and there is that hope for the white flower. And so it's just really cool to see this cause come to fruition. And you don't always get to see that. So I think it's just another reason to join us, another reason to come out and learn. Maybe this is new to you. Where do I start? What programs or education can I get from this event? And that's what we want to do.
Yeah, I've always loved that about all the walks that you guys put on. The sense of community that's involved in it is incredibly important because you have people that have been there for years, like you had mentioned, and Big J as well. But also, this is somebody's first walk as well, and somebody's first opportunity that their family has been diagnosed or they finally have some answers and they're looking for some help and some resources and some answers. And this is a great place for them to get it because there's a lot of people that are dealing with the same situation and can help point people in the right direction. And then, of course, it's also about raising awareness for all of the families that are dealing with this in Idaho, and there's a lot, I imagine.
There are. Unfortunately, it's just growing in the wrong direction. We're seeing more and more people develop the disease, and then in turn, those caregivers and families need support of what do we do? And that's really what we want. Just pick up the phone or walk through our office. You don't need to even know what you need to ask. Let us do the work for you. And this is just a great entry point. Maybe you haven't taken that step yet. Join us, see how many people really are going through this with you and feel supported in that. I think we all need community when it comes to things like this in our lives. So that's what we're there for. And again, the awareness is so key. And then, of course, the fundraising. It's a huge part of what we do.
And the fun. I mean, that's the thing that, we don't want to get down in the dredges all the time about how sad it is and can be, but we have fun in doing these fundraisers and remembering the people that we love. And, and as I always told my friend Adrian, is that it's a chance for me to take action against this disease and maybe get a little bit of reciprocity, a little revenge. Yeah. And that's how I look at it too. But you can have fun doing that as well and fellowship with other people. It's what it's all about. So that's why it's so important to come out to the walk and get it started off, like you said, alz.org/walk, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
And if people want to join you on Saturday, that's the idea. We want as many people down there as possible. I imagine you can kind of crunch time, walk up on the day of, and get involved as well. Give us the details of when it's starting, the where, all the stuff that's going down on Saturday.
Yep. So Saturday at Kleiner Park, registration will open at 10 a.m. We'll have a short opening ceremony led by Big J and Tim Johnstone at 11 a.m. Afterwards, we're going to go on our walk, celebrate the day, and we'll come back for awards, kind of highlight those teams that went above and beyond this year. And again, show up. We will help you register. We'll help you donate. We'll help you figure out what it is that we do next. It's going to be a great day. Weather looks awesome. So we're excited for that. Bring your whole family. Bring your dogs. Bring your cats. We've had llamas. Who cares? Just come out.
And you still have time to join Big J's team as well, or create a team of your own, Big J. Is there a place they can do that that's easy for them to access?
Yeah, go to xrock.com, and there's a huge thing on the website there, and you can join or you can donate. All of those things are available right there for you.
We have a lot of money we're looking to raise on Saturday, but it goes to the most important of causes, and that's why we want you to join us. So it's all going down Saturday at Kleiner Park. Alix, as always, thanks for coming in and talking about it. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
See you Saturday.
Yeah.
Spanning the globe in search of news. Important stuff.
Launch newsfeed.
On the morning after with Nick and Big J.
Big J, your family, you go on vacation a steady amount. You know, your wife's job helps you kind of gallivant all over God's green earth, and you, I would say, have a pretty good plan when it comes to vacation. So let me ask you this. When you and the missus say, you book a trip someplace, you go someplace nice, you have this all planned out, you are looking for lodging, how important is it that lodging has a good view of something, that you can look out and see some sort of vista or something that makes it like extra special to you?
Irrelevant.
Okay.
We're points chasers. So we'll go with whatever view that particular place has.
Okay. That being said, have you ever experienced, like, let's say, a luxurious kind of like crazy vacation, like you splurged and you did something extra kind of a thing?
Yeah. I'm in great debt right now from this summer.
Where would you say that was like the fanciest place that you stayed?
The fanciest? Well, we did stay at a pretty nice hotel in Paris.
Okay.
So that was pretty nice. It was a boutique, I would say.
All right. What does that mean?
Boutique. It means it's not part of a major. Well, it's part of a chain, but it's kind of small and caters to a smaller clientele, but usually on the higher end.
When you say boutique, it makes me think you didn't have your own bathroom. You just share it with people in the home.
No, that's
Okay.
not boutique at all.
According to the average American, only 17% of them say that they have experienced true luxury, like an honest-to-God luxury location, people waiting on them hand and foot, which makes sense. I've never had that in my life.
I don't know about waiting hand and foot, but I mean, I've had the opportunity, thanks to her and her family, to experience like, a high roller suite in Vegas.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the high roller suite.
Yeah, I've never done that either. That
And
seems like it would be really cool.
It was super awesome.
Yeah. Did you have like the hot tub in the room?
Shout
kind
out
of
to
a thing?
Ron and Deb for that. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like the thing you see in a movie like The Hangover.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that in person. The closest I've been is when we went to a party at the Real World Suite. That's the closest
Right.
I've ever been to something like that.
I don't know, the Westin's pretty nice.
That's a hotel, though. I wouldn't call a hotel a luxury kind of experience.
That's a luxury hotel, though.
That's what they call themselves. It doesn't necessarily make it. We had a double bed in a hotel room. There was nothing about that was luxurious, I don't think.
It was better than the single bed at the Red Roof Inn.
No, you're right. I mean, in comparison, yes. But according to respondents, 42% of travelers want that room with a view when they go on a vacation. That's important to them because really that's what they feel is the experience and the extra kind of thing that makes it feel like a vacation to them. 85% say everybody has a different idea of what luxurious is, as we do here in this room, obviously. But of course, true luxury lies in the memories made with your family, Big J, and I'm sure you have plenty of those.
Yeah, I mean, the place we stayed in, Belize, was pretty nice. I mean, I wouldn't consider it super luxury, but it was.
Listen, I've stayed in plenty of nice places. The hotels I stayed at, the Claytons that I was in Ireland, were really, really nice. I wouldn't call them luxurious, though. I didn't have any extra amenities. I mean, my 12-inch TV was not what I would call luxurious, but the beds were great. I had plenty of space. I had a wonderful view, but I still wouldn't call it a luxury room, even though they probably call themselves a luxury hotel.
I wanted to know what luxury is for you.
That's me, too, because I haven't found it yet. But I look forward to finding it when I do. Because I was thinking about this because yesterday, I don't know why, I have like a wild hair on my ass. And I was like, you know what? I saw they had like a Comic-Con cruise. I wonder who's going on that cruise. And so I started looking at it and I started looking at the prices. And I was like, man, it costs about $1,000 per person to go on this like 7-day cruise. Of course, you have to get there, and you have all those experiences, which is cool. But that will get you an interior cabin in the actual cruise ship, right?
Luxurious.
And if
dude.
you want to like get like a cabin with a view or a balcony, it's almost triple that price. And I'm like, I wonder if I was on a cruise ship, if that would matter to me, or if I would even be spending that much time in my room at all and doing all the other stuff. Why would I pay $3,000 for a room with a view when I don't see myself in a cruise ship room that much?
Yeah, I think that's the thing, too, because, when you're talking vacation, are you going to be spending the most of the time in your hotel room?
I would hope not. That's the other thing, right? And so there's angles to this.
Yeah.
It sounded like you were going to say something.
I was going to say, like, with the apartment we had to Airbnb in France, I mean, it wasn't luxurious. It was costing luxurious because of the situation and the timing of it. But we didn't spend a lot of time there because we were out doing stuff.
But you paid a lot for that room. But wouldn't you say, I mean, of your vacation, those are the pictures I remember the most of you guys out on your balcony looking at the parade that's going by and having those kind of
we saw a
experiences.
royal walking by. Not everybody gets that. At that point, that made that place luxurious. To my wife. I'm like, who is this? Luigi.
The Pac-12 is suing the Mountain West over what it is calling unlawful and unenforceable poaching penalties that would cost the conference more than $40 million for adding teams like Boise State, Fresno State, Colorado State, and San Diego State. They filed this lawsuit yesterday in federal court as they are also trying to grit.
What a bunch of baloney.
What do you mean?
Well, I imagine that it's because that there's some penalties for them leaving the conference that they have to pay.
That's what the school assigned. The Pac-12 conference is saying the amount of money that they're asking for is absurd and ridiculous.
Egregious.
And also the fact that the Pac-12 are talking about how they made some negotiations behind the scenes when they agreed to play some non-conference games of the Mountain West, that the Mountain West now are pretending those negotiations didn't happen. And so there's something weird going on behind the scenes here. I don't know who's right or who's wrong, but I do know they're fighting the fact that they're owed about 40 some odd million. And then if they add Utah State and now UNLV, who's talking about jumping ship as well, that's another $24.5 million added on to that. Pac-12 is probably trying to make that a little bit more manageable. And then the other option is they're probably arguing that do they have to owe this money to a conference that may not exist anymore? Which
who gets all that money?
Right, because that's exactly right. Because the Mountain West Conference, unless they make some serious moves and quick, will not be a conference anymore. So the Pac-12 is like, do we owe a conference that's not actually a conference any money? It's a good question. I don't know. I'm not the judge. Judge Big Day, how say you?
I don't know anything about it.
Wonderful.
This is too close to America.
You know what? That's the most judgy thing you've ever said.
What?
Johnny Cash is becoming the first professional musician to receive a statue in the United States Capitol. The likeness of the man in black was unveiled by members of Cash's family, including his daughter Roseanne, during a ceremony yesterday at the Emancipation Hall. Each U.S. state receives 2 statues in recognition of notable figures from throughout their history. So, of course, Cash is part of the Arkansas delegate because that's where he was born. And so that's his figure standing at the Capitol. Here's my pitch. Let's get a Big J statue going on for the state of Idaho. You're an institution, bro.
No.
You don't want it?
No.
You don't want the Big J statue at the U.S. Capitol?
No, so pigeons can crap on it all day?
No, it's inside, buddy. You're all right.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I changed my mind then.
All
sure.
right. We're making the full pitch for Big J to be a
Probably
representative.
have to get like Mr. Albertson and I'm gonna say Slipknot, Simplot, probably.
You think
those guys?
JR gets the nod, and then who is the other one?
Joe Albertson.
Okay, yeah, maybe. Although I tell you what, you start
Mr. Micron.
You start donating to the right people, Big J. It could be you.
I need donations to me. I can't. It's the wrong way. It's the wrong way, brother.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But hey, a statue of the Capitol would be pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Little kids walking by go, who's that, Daddy?
Who's got to pay for the maintenance on that?
Oh, honey, that's Radio's Big J. What?
Who?
You know, Big J.
I want it to be in their quote, Radio's Big J.
And just underneath it just says horse crap. And everybody knows
horse crap.
Everybody knows what's going on. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your important stuff. We have an opportunity to go to hell. It's next on the X Rock. That's the latest in Pearl Jam. It is Waiting for Stevie. Here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. I asked Big J earlier this morning if he wanted to have a little fun today.
Yeah.
Because something came up and it gave us an opportunity to do something we haven't done in years. Maybe 4 years at least, maybe, since we have done one of these. And so we thought it would be a cool way to throw it back to the history of the show and have a little bit of fun, because today is something called One Hit Wonder Day, and it gives us an opportunity to play something we haven't done in a while. It goes a little something like this.
This is the truth of it. Fighting leads to killing, and killing gets to warring, and that was damn near the death of us all. Look at us now. Now when men get to fighting, it happens here, and it finishes here. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
2 songs enter, 1 song leave.
And right now, I've got 2 men. 2 men with a gut full of fear. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Rock Wars.
On the morning after with Nick and Big J.
Thank you to Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome for the inspiration for Rock Wars. If you don't remember Rock Wars, it was a segment we used to do. It had to be once a week, right? It wasn't every day, was it?
No,
Was
I don't
it
think
every day?
I don't remember. That's how long we've been doing the show, friends. We've done so many segments and so many different things. We can't keep track.
I don't remember if we used to do this every day
Someone
or if it was
tell
once
us.
a week.
We do it every day. I think it was every day.
I think it was every day for a while. The point is, Big J would select a song, I would select a song about a particular topic. We would put them up in a fight. You guys, by texting in, would choose the winner of the fight, and then we would get essentially, bragging rights for the rest of the day. We eventually kept a record, which Big J, to your credit, you ran away with. You won way more Rock Wars than I did. And so after a while, we just retired the segment because we figured it was time to move on. But it being One Hit Wonder Day, why don't we bring in our favorite rock one-hit wonders and see who can win a good old-fashioned rock war? Big J, you have the floor.
Yeah, I'm going to go with this one, and I only refreshed my memory just last night watching a movie, The Fall Guy, and it's a band that had projections to be huge, and then all of a sudden they weren't, but it was after this was their huge hit. It's The Darkness with I Believe in a Thing Called Love.
That is Big J's selection for this very special edition of Rock Wars. He went with The Darkness, I Believe in a Thing Called Love. Thank you to the text line who have pretty much overwhelmingly told us it was every day that we did this particular segment because we couldn't remember it. So thank you to the scores of people that texted in and remember the show much better than we do, the ones that do it every day. So we appreciate you very, very much. But we are doing a very special edition of Rock Wars, a one-off because it's One Hit Wonder Day. Big J selected The Darkness, I Believe in a Thing Called Love. I am going to go a little bit older. And to me, the reason why this sticks out as a one-hit wonder is because I saw this band perform live twice. The first time I saw them, they did something I'd never seen before. They performed the song 3 different times during their set. They opened with it, they performed like a medley in the middle that included it, and then they closed with the full song. And it's like, that's when they know that's what's
That's a one-hit wonder. You're right.
They are totally leaning into it, and I get it. But also, I will do it because I included it in a great movie scene in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. My selection for Rock Wars is Space Hogs in the meantime on the X-Rocks. Big J, Rock Wars.
Rock Wars.
It's like trying on an old shirt that still fits. That is the completion of it. That's my choice for one-hit wonders in terms of the rock world. Space Hogs in the meantime. Big J went with The Darkness, I Believe in a Thing Called Love. And now what we do is you turn it over to you to decide a winner. You texted in which song you like better, which song you felt fit the theme a little bit better, which song you enjoy a little bit better. However you do it, it's up to you. Just text in Darkness or Space Hog. We'll tabulate the votes, and when we wrap up the show, we'll let you know who won our fun little bonus edition of Rock Wars. There's no prize other than pride attached to it, but you know what, Big J? We had some fun, didn't we?
Yeah.
And that's what it was all about. We're going to give away some prizes next with a little thing called Bad Impressions. It's on the way here on the X-Rocks.
Bad impressions.
So far, I'm not impressed.
On the morning after with Nick and Big J.
Yeah, Bad Impressions time, baby. And we got some tickets for you. Bad Flower is coming to the Revolution Concert House and Event Center. In fact, they'll be there on the 3rd. That's next Thursday with Sloth Rust and Missio. It is going to be a fantastic show. So we'll get you lined up with tickets for that. Also get you qualified for a chance to hang out with Bad Flower during their sound check, which will be a lot of fun. And we'll be talking to Josh at some point next week as well, the lead singer for Bad Flower. So this all can be yours. You just need to figure out Bad Impressions here today. And it should be pretty easy, I think, Nick.
All right.
Yeah.
208-287-1003. If you like these Bad Flower tickets, all you have to do is figure out who Big J's trying to be. The way you do that is by listening to 3 clues he will provide you. If you can figure out who that famous person is in 3 clues or less, congratulations, you're going to the show. Next week, it's going to be a really good time, and we wish the best for you. Big J, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Then to the phones we go. Hello, the X.
Yes, what's this Bad Impressions that you speak of?
Yes, ma'am. We are trying to get a winner now. Are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go.
Trying to think about the old Vegas from the 60s and the Rat Pack without me would be impossible.
Oh, gosh.
I'll do another clue. It'll help you out here.
Yeah.
I earned the nickname Chairman of the Board by being one of the biggest recording artists of the 20th century.
Oh, my gosh. Let's do one more.
I gained the nickname Old Blue Eyes for obvious reasons, but only after my success as an actor.
Clint Eastwood.
Is it Clint
It's
Eastwood?
not Clint Eastwood, no.
Thank you for trying, though. We appreciate it. Sometimes it can get difficult, especially when Big J goes way, way back into the time machine and tries.
I'm a ghost, by the way.
Yes, also helps that this person
He's
is
a
dead.
Force ghost.
Hello, the X.
Good morning.
Good morning. Did you hear Big J's clues, or do you need him again?
I heard him.
And the answer is?
I'm sorry. No, sorry. I do need to hear him again. I apologize.
Oh, very confused. Trying to think about the old Vegas from the 60s and the Rat Pack without me in it would be impossible. I earned the nickname Chairman of the Board by being one of the biggest recording artists of the 20th century. And I gained the nickname Old Blue Eyes for obvious reasons, but only after my success as an actor.
Old Blue Eyes. Can you say the second one again?
I earned the nickname Chairman of the Board by being one of the biggest recording artists of the 20th century. I thought this would be easy.
Frank Sinatra.
There you go.
There you go. It is Frank Sinatra. It was easy for her. Congratulations. Hang on 1 second. We'll hook you up with those Bad Flower tickets. Why is Frank Sinatra in the news?
Frank Sinatra. So Martin Scorsese was going to be doing a biopic of Frank Sinatra, which would be pretty cool, I think, because I don't know if there's been one really done, or at least one that I've seen anyways. And that has since been canceled. The start of production was supposed to be November, but it's been canceled with no rescheduled date. Also had to push back the Life of Jesus, based on Shishusku Endo's novel. I'm not familiar with that novel, but it was something that they were going to be doing. So that's been pushed back as well. So I don't know what's going on with Scorsese, but
well, the Frank Sinatra thing makes sense because of the mob ties. If you watched, the making of the Godfather movie, you found out that Frank Sinatra didn't want that made either because they felt like it painted him in a bad light. He called in his mob buddies. Mob tried to prevent that from happening. They eventually had to seek a truce. They did. Godfather get made, one of the best movies ever made.
Yeah.
And so I think there's still the mob ties that are making sure that nobody gets to know the real Frank Sinatra story.
yeah, he was
Never.
actually in charge of all the mobs.
I don't know about that. But
He was chairman of the mob board.
that could be where the nickname is from. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your bad impressions. We'll wrap up the show here next on the X. Hi, Benjamin. I will not bow here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. That's going to wrap up the old show for your Wednesday morning. Thanks for hanging out with us. Special thank you to Alix from the Alzheimer's Association for popping by and talking about the Walk to End Alzheimer's that's happening this Saturday. Reminder, you can join Big J's team at xrock.com. We encourage you to do exactly that so we can raise some money for fighting Alzheimer's as that battle continues for sure. We also brought back Rock Wars. Big J, declare a winner, please.
I believe in a thing called love.
Congratulations.
Sorry,
Rock
dude.
Wars picks up right where it leaves off. No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm totally okay with it.
Wasn't close.
I didn't think it would be at all. At all. We've done Rock Wars enough for me to know Big J's winning Rock Wars. But, of course, that also leaves you with the floor, sir.
Tonight, this afternoon, late this afternoon, 5:30 on the Morning After Facebook page, doing a little live stream action, some gameplay of American Truck Simulator, and just bugging you, everybody, for more money for the Alzheimer's Association to join my team. Whatever, it's going to be fun. Couple hours, tune in. We'll have some laughs.
It's changed to 5:30. That's when it's going down? Got it. I will be tuning in as well. Make sure you do as well on the Morning After Facebook page, please. Next set of X-Rock brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. For tank and tankless water heaters, clogged drains, leaky faucets, toilets that won't flush, stop freaking and call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating and Mechanical, your trusted plumbing source online at beaconplumbing.com. That's it for us. We will see you tomorrow. Jason Drew's up next. It's the X-Rock.
Thanks for listening to the well, maybe you're not even listening, but watching. Who knows? However you found us, thanks.
Thanks for consuming the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
We're cool.